So there are many coins. So what's the difference? You mentioned, okay, maybe there are different rails. So I'm taking notes, dutifully taking notes here. And maybe it's different rail system and it's different technology behind it. But I mean, there are so many different coins. And then you get into the Doge, not the new Doge, but the old Doge. And sometimes people are just like, wait a second, is this all just a joke and a farce to, get people to, lose money? And there's also was obviously some shenanigans with Bankman-Fried and FTX and all that other stuff. So it's like, walk us through like the different coins and why is that important? Why do or kind of how do they differentiate and why is that important? Why the different coins? Why are they different? If you don't mind walking us through that.
The challenge ultimately is not just for any investor, someone listening to this, you, and also me who's doing this full time every day, is there's no moat to creating a coin. Someone can spin one up in 10 seconds, Ryan Lessard coin, and there's thousands of these things that exist.
Is there a Ryan Lessard coin?
Unless someone else made it, I have not made one yet. It's
okay.
The reality of it though, where you see people creating these things, they're termed meme coins quite often.
Yes.
And often they don't even have ever any sort of intrinsic value, right? They're not really sought out to have it. Sometimes there are, so I like to separate that. Meme coins might just be a coin that anyone can create. There's never meant to be really a purpose of it. Maybe it's fun, right? Or something of that extent.
Sorry, Andrew, would NFTs, non-fungible tokens, fall under the meme coin, or is that a different category?
I would say it's more of a different category.
Okay.
NFT at its simplest form is more of a technology in some extent too. It's popularized mostly by art and other things like examples. But non-fungible token, the way to think about that is you have one iteration of something and it's provable via the blockchain. So you can point back to the blockchain that I am the true owner, even if it is a picture of a rock or something example, whatever the point may be, but you can prove ownership via the blockchain and it's non-fungible, meaning it's not exchangeable for a different version. It's unique in its form. But there's other verticals, and that's how I usually think about this in terms of cryptocurrencies at large. Bitcoin in this kind of non-sovereign monetary asset is in a certain vertical of what it's trying to do and how that's evolved over 15, 16 years. Ethereum, the second largest cryptocurrency by market cap, is probably in a bigger vertical with more players at this moment. I think about that as a decentralized compute network to build decentralized applications on. So think about how today you have an application on your phone, right? If you have an Apple iPhone, it's built via iOS is the app store. It's via the operating system. Ethereum can be thought of as more of the operating system in which you build these applications, but similar to Bitcoin in a way, it's non-sovereign, it's decentralized. There's no one company like Apple in charge of that, right? So it creates a neutral framework, a neutral foundation to build things on. And there's more people trying to compete for that land space, right? In terms of when I say people, different coins or networks rather, that are trying to build something similar with different tweaks on the margins for efficiency or what have you. And so we'll see that evolve. We've seen it evolve over the decade past in crypto. I always say, buyer beware in some of this stuff, right? You have to do your homework. There's a lot to understand in many of these facets and aspects. And, the takeaway is most of it's still technically unregulated. And I think that's where we're hopefully going in the future is, healthy regulation, legislation that gives us guardrails to operate, that lets us know what are the rules of the road, both as builders, managers, investors, and so we can have a healthy ecosystem developed around that and give folks more comfort about what this is or what it might be.